Guys, today we're going to do a US and Canada scenario if they had a war. So the US is going to be on blue, obviously. Draw it in, boom. Canada will be on the red. Let me draw in all of their little things that I'm probably gonna miss. There we go. That's it. I bet how it's gonna start out is just US and Canada having a war. The world will get in on it later, but right now they're just gonna have a war. Since the US and Canada have the longest border in the world, they're probably gonna have a pretty long war. Probably not the longest in the world, because that would be terrible. But the US, first thing the US would do is make an attack. They would attack Newfoundland. They would attack Newfoundland and then attack New Brunswick. The first thing they would do was attack New Brunswick in Nova Scotia. All their American troops. Take a closer look. The US would start here, grabbing as much land as they could on these. Grabbing as much land as they could. Even grabbing some of Newfoundland along the way. Taking over Newfoundland. Destroying the Canada border. Completely taking over Newfoundland. Making the US victorious in that attack. Taking over New Brunswick and Nova Scotia. I turned the whole world. Give me a second while I fix the world. There we go. Then, next thing the US would do is conquer Prince Edward Island. With 3 provinces already down and going into Quebec. Taking over this entire area of Canada. Which would be a very important attack on Canada. Now the world would get in on it. Europe would start going crazy about this attack. Europe would go mad. Kinda. The UK would go on. Go with Canada. France would go with the US. Then Kosovo. Then and Kosovo would see this time as an independence movement, giving them freedom and joining the U.S. on their side. Now that's now. Then really close allies with the United States that kind of gave them independence movements that supported their independence, like Taiwan, South Korea from North Korea, and probably Japan didn't really, their independence didn't really depend on the U.S. because they really didn't get colonized. But I'm saying, like, they're still close allies with the United States, along with the entire Philippines, are very close allies, probably making them part of the United States side. Then Canada would, then the British Crown, these places would go on the Canada side, except for Papua New Guinea, they would just join. India would probably go on the side of Canada, but since they would go on their side, Pakistan would go on the United States side, and same with Afghanistan. This little bit of land would probably go to them. China would not aid the United States, since Taiwan, they'd probably go on Canada's side. If they go on that side, Myanmar would probably go on their side as well. Actually, I think they might stay neutral. I don't really know. They might stay neutral. Oopsie. I just destroyed the borders of all of Asia. Phew. Okay. That was scary. Now that would be over, I bet since North Korea and South Korea are enemies, North Korea would go on Canada's side. Then the Caribbean would kind of go crazy. Caribbean and Central America would go crazy. While Panama going on. Panama and Mexico would probably go on the United States side. Cuba would rebel. Then with the Bahamas would kind of rebel against the United States. They wouldn't really want to get in on it. Since Colombia is an enemy of Panama, since they're kind of enemies, so they would kind of do that. While Central America would probably go for the U.S. in the situation. I don't know why that keeps happening. Boom. So now that would happen, Jamaica would go on to the British side, like the small island of Bermuda. And then the Europeans would come in, and probably Spain would go on to the side of the United States. If Spain were on the United States side, the Canaries would also follow. Then finally the first attack would happen. Actually the second attack from Canada would start. They would start by attacking Puerto Rico. Since this entire area was against them, Well, except for you. They would kind of be on the United States side, but Guyana would be on their side. Trinidad and Tobago, probably Venezuela as well. Actually, since they're communist, yeah, I don't really know about them. I don't know. But if Bolivia would aid the United Kingdom, if either Chile or Bolivia aided the United States, one of them would aid Canada. So I'm saying like probably Bolivia would aid Canada, while Chile would aid the United States. The Falklands would do the opposite. The Falkland Islands right here would probably go on Canada's side. Okay, now that would happen, and all of this would probably be weird. I bet Portugal would probably aid the United Kingdom. Same with Ireland, because since Portugal is an ally with the United Kingdom, they would probably take refuge against the United States. Ireland, I don't really know. I think they would just do it anyway. Turkey would probably aid the United States, along with Albania would probably aid the US, along with probably Germany, which would kind of be weird. Belgium would definitely aid the United States. Same with Denmark. But if Denmark aided the United States, Greenland would aid the United States, making it so that Canada kinda didn't really have any advantages because they had nowhere to go because of that whole mess right there. Maybe Denmark would aid the United States or the UK. I think they would probably aid the United States. Now that would happen, Canada would take their first attack. They'd take their second attack. Actually, their first attack was attacking here in Puerto Rico. They hadn't done that yet. Let's get to that. We'd probably start by the Canadians taking this area, but the Americans would start taking some stuff from around. Probably France and their islands would probably aid the United States because they're part of France. France aiding the US, so probably these would aid the US as well. That means if they aid it, it'll help. But since this is the U.S. Virgins, they would probably aid the U.S. as well because of they're the U.S. The U.K. and Canada have an advantage point because these are the British Virgin and Antigua, whatever. They are both owned by the United Kingdom. They kind of have an advantage point there. Right there, they would kind of have an advantage. that would be their advantage. In this war, they would have an advantage right there. Then eventually, I bet the US would lose Puerto Rico. The US couldn't resist, and Puerto Rico would be taken over along with the Virgins. But if the Americans gave up there, probably the whole Caribbean would fall under the British. The whole Caribbean would fall under British hands. They'd probably attack some of Venezuela as well. But if Venezuela gets attacked, they'd probably go onto the United States side. And the British would kind of be upset. And since Guyana and Suriname were kind of enemies, they would probably go on different sides. Now that they had lost there, kind of getting kind of messy. The world was kind of getting messy. And then Canada would start by attacking Alaska. They'd probably start attacking Alaska. Just like this. Probably completely attack Alaska. They would attack all of Alaska. But they would kind of take the kind of cold areas. But they couldn't resist. The military of Canada and the United Kingdom couldn't resist. Then, as soon as that would happen, Juneau would be taken over. Juneau and all of this would be taken over by Canada. And to do this, the US would start to fight. Trying to take this area of Canada. Taking their entire Great Lakes land, going into Ontario. Going around the Ontario area, which would probably scare the Canadians, as the United States would completely take over this entire area. Making it impossible for the Canadians to ever actually get to there. Oh no. I just destroyed the Canadian border! And it's fine, because technically, now it looks better. Now, the Canadians would attack. Start attacking again in the United States. As the Canadians would start going down into Washington, Montana, Idaho, and Oregon. Would start attacking down south. And after that would happen, the Americans would really start fighting if the Canadians started taking their country. The Americans would probably fight back with taking this entire land area of Canada. They'd probably take this entire area, making it under the control of the Americans. But if Canada saw that, they would probably go attack. They start attacking more and more. Starting to go down. It goes south, down into into New England. New England got attacked, so that would kind of be a problem. Because Canada would kind of have an advantage point, taking all of their old land back from the United States, seeing all their old land. The United States would not give up. But this would probably start World War III. With Africa not being in the war until now. And they saw that the war was happening all over. They'd probably get in on it. Because here would completely go on the British side. Taking over America, while all of this would go for the United States. If the United States would be aided by all of this. But if Western Sahara was on the United States side, Morocco would rebel, going on the other side. Nigeria and South Africa, Nigeria would try to get on to the American side. Since speaking English, but also before any of the British got to the coast, making all of those countries for America, while Italy was joining in the war along with San Marino. So that means all Italian colonies would go under. All former Italian colonies would go for the United States. And then Tunisia would go for the Americans. Ethiopia was never conquered, so they would probably go on the United States side, since they're not trying to conquer, they're just trying to take down the British. Chad would go for America. Before anyone did, the British got here. Taking all of this land for themselves, with Madagascar and Mozambique. But the United States got to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. And with all of this, Saudi Arabia would probably go for the United States along with Israel. But if Israel went to the United States, all the enemies of Israel would probably go against the United States. Like enemies of the United States that we fought war with, like Syria, Jordan, Iraq, Iran, which are not really allies with the United States. But since Armenia was the second country to make Armenia independent was the United States, they would probably aid the US. Cyprus would aid the UK because they were a former colony. But then if Russia got into it, they would probably go on the US's side, making Georgia and Azerbaijan and all former Soviet states go for the United States. which is kind of crazy to think about it. But then probably Serbia and Montenegro would go for the Canadians for that. If one Nordic member was aiding the United States, probably all of Nordic would probably all aid for the United States. They'd probably all aid the United States. Same with Greece. And probably all of this aid the US. I bet when no one was looking, and the UK would snatch up all of this area. Leaving Saudi Arabia surrounded. And Israel both be surrounded. The US would grab Switzerland. This is a really big battle. Look at this. They have most of the world involved. Since the US helped to start NATO and even start the UN, Antarctica, even though not a country, because the United States, along with Brazil, Ecuador would rebel for some reason. Argentina would probably go for the Americans because since the Falklands and the UK and stuff like that. Myanmar and Bangladesh. And then China would probably not aid the United Kingdom, but the United States. With aiding the United States would kind of be crazy. And the United States would probably win this. Bye guys, I'll see you next time.